heart. The sky above the turbulent seas of Aeloria was painted in hues of stormy indigo and violet as a brutal gale whipped waves into a frenzy. The coastal town of Veylwatch braced itself against the fury of the tempest as the winds howled through its narrow cobbled streets. It was here, amidst the tumult of the elements, that our tale begins. Standing at the dock, eyes fixed upon the tumultuous horizon, was a young woman with bronze skin and eyes like molten gold. Her name was Elara Windrider, a name whispered in taverns and hearths alike, for she was a navigator of great renown, possessing an unerring sense of direction and an uncanny ability to commune with the winds. On this night, however, she was drawn to the sea not by choice or wanderlust, but by duty, a summons from the High Council of Veylwatch. "Elara, the council awaits," a familiar voice called over the clamor of the storm, belonging to Rogan Thorn, a burly man with a heart as steadfast as the cliffs he called home, and Elara's loyal friend. Together they hurried through the rain-slicked streets towards the great hall, its towering silhouette a refuge from the chaos outside. Inside, the great hall was alive with the crackling warmth of fires, casting long shadows upon the ancient stone walls, adorned with tapestries depicting legendary voyages and battles. At the head of an imposing oak table sat the council, a gathering of Veylwatch's most revered elders. The room hushed as Elara approached, her presence commanding respect, even amongst those of significantly higher stature. "Elara Windrider," intoned Councillor Aramond, his voice a deep rumble that cut through the silence. "We have summoned you for a task of utmost importance." Elara nodded, steeling herself for whatever challenge lay ahead. She knew well the stories of Aeloria's past. A land once united under a single banner, now fractured into warring factions vying for dominion. In the heart of this strife lay the legend of the Relic of Aeloria, a powerful artifact said to hold the key to restoring balance to the realm. "We have received word," Aramond continued, "that the relic has resurfaced, deep within the forsaken ruins of Haladorn." A murmur of astonishment rippled through the hall. The ruins of Haladorn were a place of dread, a cursed land from which few returned, said to be haunted by spirits of the ancient empire that once thrived there. "It is imperative," Aramond pressed on, "that we retrieve the relic before it falls into the hands of those who would wield its power for destruction. You must lead a select band to reclaim it." Elara's heart thundered. The task was daunting, but the opportunity to restore peace to the fractured realm was one she could not ignore. She accepted the charge with a determined nod. As the meeting adjourned, Rogan stepped forward. "You'll need companions," he said gruffly, yet there was a glimmer of excitement in his eyes. "You know I'll always have your back." Elara smiled, feeling the familiar warmth of camaraderie. "And I yours, Rogan, but we'll need more." Her mind raced, considering potential allies. "The mage Elandor will be a wise choice," Rogan suggested. "His knowledge of the arcane and the unseen could prove invaluable in a place like Haladorn." Elandor was indeed a name spoken with both reverence and fear, a weirdling touched by elemental magic, known for his ability to manipulate flames with but a gesture. Though often aloof and enigmatic, his loyalty once earned was unwavering. Within a fortnight, the expedition was assembled. Alongside Elara, Rogan, and Elandor, the group included Kaelen, a nimble thief with an uncanny knack for unraveling secrets hidden within shadows, and Lysandra, a fierce warrior from the northern tribes, her axe as formidable as her spirit. Together they set sail on the Swiftwind, a sleek ship cutting through the waves with purpose, driven by the hopes of a nation. Under Elara's guidance, they journeyed southward, towards the cursed lands where the ancient empire of Haladorn lay buried beneath the sands of time. The journey was fraught with peril. As they approached the ruins, the air grew thick with an unnatural chill, and a dense fog enveloped them, obscuring the treacherous shoals that littered the coastline. Yet under Elara's steady hand, the swift wind navigated the hazards, reaching a secluded cove where the remnants of a once grand harbor stood as crumbling sentinels. Disembarking, the group found themselves in a landscape scarred by time and conflict. The ruins of Haladorn rose before them, twisted spires and collapsed archways looming like the bones of ancient giants. As they pressed onward, a sense of unease settled over them, an oppressive weight that whispered of danger lurking in every shadow. It was Kaelen who first sensed the unseen presence trailing them, his instincts honed by years of evading capture. "We're being watched," he warned, hands drifting towards his twin daggers. The group's pace quickened, urgency spurring them deeper into the labyrinthine ruins. It was not long before their unseen pursuers revealed themselves. Bandits, a ragtag group emboldened by desperation and greed. With vicious cries, they attacked, blades glinting in the dim light. Lysandra roared a battle cry, her axe cleaving through the air with formidable speed, while Rogan swung his hammer with a force that shook the earth itself. Elandor summoned searing flames, casting them upon their foes with deadly precision, a fiery dance of controlled chaos. Elara fought with the grace of a storm, her movements fluid and unstoppable, as she parried and struck with lethal efficiency. Yet even as they repelled the ambush, the realization dawned. These bandits were not the true threat they sought. As the dust settled, Elara's gaze fell upon a fallen bandit, clutching a fragment of parchment. Upon it was scrawled a map, one that led to the very heart of Haladorn, and marked with a symbol that chilled her blood, the sigil of the Crimson Dominion, a powerful and ruthless faction bent on claiming the relic for their own dark purposes. Their mission had just become infinitely more dangerous. With renewed urgency, the group pressed onward, determined to reach the relic before the Crimson Dominion could enact their unholy designs. Yet as they delved deeper into the ruins, they found themselves ensnared in a web of treachery and forgotten magic. Within the heart of Haladorn lay the ancient sanctum, a vast chamber shrouded in darkness and flickering light. There, atop a dais, rested the relic, a multifaceted crystal, pulsing with an inner glow, like the heartbeat of the world itself. But the chamber was not empty. The leader of the Crimson Dominion, a sorceress named Seraphel, awaited them with a cruel smile. Her eyes blazed with malevolent power, a stark contrast to her regal bearing. "You are too late," she taunted, her voice a silken snare. "The relic is mine, and with it I shall command the very forces of creation." Elara felt the weight of destiny upon her shoulders as she prepared to face Seraphel, knowing that the fate of Aeloria rested upon the outcome of this confrontation. With a final breath, she stepped forward, her determination unwavering. The battle was fierce and relentless, a clash of wills and magic that shook the ancient stones. Seraphel's dark enchantments clashed with Elandor's fire, painting the chamber in a tapestry of light and shadow. Rogan and Lysandra fought valiantly against the Dominion's enforcers, while Kaelen darted through the chaos, seeking an opening. Elara and Seraphel circled each other like wolves, each seeking the other's weakness. The sorceress unleashed a torrent of darkness, but Elara stood firm, drawing upon the winds to bolster her resolve and deflect the onslaught. She struck with fierce precision, her blade finding purchase against Seraphel's defenses. As the battle waged, Elara sensed a tremor in the relic's pulse, a resonance with her own spirit. In that moment, she understood that the relic was not merely an object of power, but a conduit of harmony itself. Summoning all her courage, She reached out with her mind and heart, forging a connection that transcended physicality. Light blossomed from the relic, blinding and pure, casting back the shadows and revealing the true heart of Haladorn. The sorceress cried out in fury and despair as her control slipped away. The darkness vanquished by the relic's light. Elara's companions rallied around her as Seraphel fell, the remnants of the Crimson Dominion retreating into the depths. The ruins trembled, as if recognizing the departure of a malignant force, a long-awaited peace settling over them. With the relic in their possession, the group returned to Veylwatch, hailed as heroes. Yet Elara knew their journey was but the beginning, for the relic's power held the potential to reshape the realm. As she stood upon the docks once more, the wind at her back, she gazed upon the horizon with renewed hope, ready to face whatever challenges awaited. Unbeknownst to them, however, a dark shadow loomed on the distant horizon, another force, more ancient and sinister than the Crimson Dominion, stirred to life, drawn by the relic's awakening. The true test was yet to come. The dawn broke over Veylwatch in a cascade of rosy light, painting the town in hues of hope and renewal. With the Relic of Aeloria now under the guardianship of the High Council, Elara Windrider found herself standing upon the precipice of a new chapter. The air was crisp with the promise of adventure, yet also heavy with the unspoken potential of the relic, an unease she could not shake. The town below was alive with murmurs of their victory, but Elara's heart was pulled elsewhere, to the horizon where the winds whispered tales of lands unseen and mysteries undiscovered. As she stood at the edge of the sea cliffs, reveling in the spray of the ocean, Elandor approached, his presence as subtle as the shifting shadows. "Your heart is troubled," he observed, his gaze distant, yet piercing. Elara turned to him, the truth of his words clear in her eyes. "The relic speaks to me in ways I do not yet understand. I fear the victory at Haladorn was but the beginning." Elandor nodded, the flicker of arcane fire dancing between his fingers. "The relic is a conduit, a bridge to ancient powers. Its awakening has drawn attention, not all of which is benevolent." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a newcomer, a woman of elegant stature and an aura of mystery. Her emerald eyes glowed with an inner light, and her long raven hair flowed like the night itself. Introduced as Selene, an emissary from the reclusive high elves of Elandor, she carried with her a missive of grave import. "The elders have sensed a disturbance," Selene explained, her voice like the rustle of leaves in a moonlit forest. "A presence long dormant awakens in the north, one that threatens to consume all in darkness." Elandor's expression darkened with recognition. "The Shade Lord," he breathed, a name steeped in legend and fear. "A being of malevolent power, said to have been banished by the first heroes of Aeloria." Selene nodded solemnly. "The elders believe that only the relic, in the hands of one who can wield its true power, can vanquish this threat." The urgency in her voice left no room for hesitation. Within the hour, the companions reconvened, their resolve reaffirmed by the task that lay ahead. With Selene as their guide, they set their course northward, towards the elven city of Elandor, an ethereal place hidden deep within the emerald embrace of the Elder Glen forest. The journey, though fraught with danger, was also one of discovery. As they traversed the shifting landscapes of Aeloria, each member of the group found themselves confronted by the echoes of their past. For Elara, the winds sang of lost loves and forgotten promises. For Rogan, The earth beneath his feet whispered of home and hearth. For Kaelen, the shadows flickered with unspoken secrets long buried, and for Lysandra, the distant thunder reminded her of the battle songs of her people. As they approached the Elder Glen, a sense of tranquility enveloped them, the world around them alive with magic. The forest was a symphony of life, the trees towering like ancient sentinels, their leaves whispering secrets to those who dared listen. Among the underbrush, fey creatures flitted, their laughter like the tinkling of crystal bells. In the heart of the forest stood Elandor, a city woven from the very essence of nature itself. Towers spiraled like vines reaching for the sky, and bridges of silver light arched over crystal-clear streams. It was a place that existed in harmony with its surroundings, untouched by the ravages of time. The elders of Elandor awaited them in a grand hall open to the stars, their presence a blend of wisdom and otherworldly grace. As Elara stepped forward to present the relic, a palpable energy resonated through the air, connecting her to the ancient power thrumming beneath her fingertips. "The Shade Lord rises," spoke Elder Amara, her voice as serene as a calm sea. Its influence spreads like a shadow over the land. Elara felt the relic pulse in response, as if acknowledging the threat. "How can we stop it?" she asked, her voice steady with determination. "There is a prophecy," Amara replied, her eyes meeting Elara's with a solemn intensity. "The relic, when united with the star shard, a fragment of the same elemental creation, will awaken its full potential. The star shard lies within the caverns of Lith, guarded by the ancient sentinels." Both Rogan and Lysandra exchanged glances, the weight of the task evident. "Sounds like just another stroll through paradise," Rogan quipped, his attempt at levity masking the gravity of their mission. Kaelen, ever pragmatic, asked, "And what of the Shade Lord's minions? Surely they will not sit idle." "The Shade Lord's reach is long, but its forces remain fractured," Celine interjected. "We must move swiftly, for every moment of delay grants its strength." Their course set, the companions prepared for the next leg of their journey. The road to the caverns of Lith was perilous, winding through treacherous mountain passes where bitter winds howled, and the path was fraught with hidden dangers. As they ventured deeper into the mountains, the air grew thin and cold, the landscape a stark contrast to the vibrant life of the Elder Glen. The shadows here were long and foreboding, and the nights were filled with eerie whispers carried on the biting wind. One such night, as the group huddled around a meager fire, Elara approached Elandor. "The magic of these lands feels different, darker," she observed, the ever-present winds tugging at her cloak. Elandor nodded, his gaze distant. "The caverns are ancient, a place where the threads of the world are drawn tight. Many have sought the star shard, yet few have returned." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden, chilling howl. A pack of frost wolves, their eyes gleaming like shards of ice, emerged from the shadows, their forms wreathed in mist. The attack was swift and deadly, a test of their unity and resolve. With ferocity and skill, the companions fought back. Lysandra's axe whistled through the air, while Rogan's hammer struck with the force of an avalanche. Elandor wove flames into a tapestry of protection, and Kaelen's knives found their marks with unerring precision. Elara, at the center, moved like the wind itself, guided by instinct and resolve. As the last wolf fell, a harrowing silence enveloped them, the gravity of their quest weighing heavily on their shoulders. Yet even in the face of such adversity, their spirits remained unbroken. The following day they reached the yawning entrance of the caverns of Lith, a maw of darkness cutting into the mountainside. Here, the air was thick with anticipation and the promise of danger. The group steeled themselves and entered, the cavern walls closing around them like the pages of a forgotten tome. Within the depths of the earth, the caverns unfolded in endless labyrinthine passages, illuminated by eerie phosphorescent glows. Strange echoes filled the air, the whispers of a world long forgotten. And in the shadows lurked the ancient sentinels, gargantuan constructs of stone and magic, their eyes burning with an otherworldly light. The first sentinel loomed before them, an imposing figure carved from the very heart of the mountain. As it stirred to life, the companions faced their greatest challenge yet, a battle of courage and unity against the relentless force of the sentinels. With each clash and deft maneuver, they fought not just with steel and magic, but with their indomitable spirit. Elara's connection to the relic guided her, allowing her to weave between the constructs with grace and precision. Together they forged their path through the caverns, each victory a testament to their resolve and bond. Finally, in the heart of the labyrinth, they found it, the Star Shard, a radiant gem pulsating with the energy of creation itself. Its brilliance filled the chamber, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. As Elara reached out to claim it, the Star Shard harmonized with the relic, an electric resonance sparking between them. But as the power surged through Elara, a vision struck her, a revelation that shook her to her core. The Shade Lord's awakening was no mere resurgence of an ancient threat, but a bid for dominion, orchestrated by a familiar face. Seraphel, thought defeated, had been but a pawn in a larger, more sinister game. The revelation left the companions reeling, their victory tempered by the knowledge that the true battle was only beginning. As they emerged from the caverns, the Star Shard and Relic united in purpose. They knew that they were not alone in the struggle against the encroaching darkness. The path ahead was fraught with challenges and uncertainty, yet their resolve was unbroken, a testament to their courage and the bonds forged in adversity. For in the heart of darkness, it is the flicker of hope that lights the way. End. Part. As the companions emerged from the caverns of Lith, the world outside was awash in the gentle glow of dawn. The Star Shard nestled safely within Elara's satchel, its union with the relic a quiet pulsing against her side, a heartbeat in harmony with her own. The burden of knowledge weighed heavily upon her. The revelation of Seraphel's role was a puzzle yet to be fully revealed, with an unknown hand shaping the pieces. Gathered around a small campfire, the companions took a moment to rest and regroup. The chill of the mountain air was a sharp contrast to the warmth of their shared victory. While Kaelen whittled away at a stick, lost in thought, Lysandra sharpened her axe with methodical precision, her gaze distant. Seraphel's presence in this is troubling, Elandor mused, his eyes reflecting the flickering flames. If she was merely a pawn, then we face a strategist whose motives eclipse what we had imagined. Rogan, ever pragmatic, nodded. Aye, and we must find out who truly pulls the strings before they ensnare us all. Selene, who had watched them with an unwavering gaze, finally spoke. The elders may have insight into this plot. Their wisdom spans centuries, and their understanding of the Shade Lord's history is unmatched. Their path now turned back towards Aranthor, where the Elder Glen's verdant embrace promised both answers and reprieve. As they traversed the rugged terrain, the companions remained vigilant, for the land itself seemed to whisper of hidden dangers. of eyes watching from every shadow. Elara took solace in the whispers of the wind, seeking answers among its many voices. It spoke of resilience and strength, guiding her path as they wound through ancient trails. Her bond with the relic grew stronger, a connection forged from both light and shadow. When they finally arrived at Elandor, the city welcomed them with its ethereal glow, the trees shimmering under a tapestry of stars. The elders awaited them once more, their presence as calming as the first rays of dawn. "Elders," Elara began, the weariness of her journey evident, yet her spirit unbowed. "The Shade Lord is but a part of a larger scheme. Seraphel, long thought defeated, was manipulated by another." Elder Amara listened intently, her expression contemplative. "The threads of fate weave a complex tapestry. What you have faced thus far is but the prelude to a greater challenge." Elder Theron, whose wisdom was rivaled only by his foresight, stepped forward. "There exists a realm known as the Veil, an ethereal plane where reality and dream intermingle. It is said to be the origin of the Shade Lord's power, a place where its essence was first forged. It was a revelation that shifted the ground beneath them. The Veil, a place of legend and myth, had always been spoken of in hushed tones, a realm where few dared wander. To enter the Veil, Celine interjected, one must possess both the star shard and the relic. Together they act as a key, a passage through which one might traverse the boundaries of reality itself. Elara felt the weight of destiny upon her once more. The path ahead, fraught with uncertainty, yet bright with possibility. "Then we must go to the Veil," she declared. "If there lies the truth of the Shade Lord, we cannot allow it to remain hidden." Their decision made, preparations began in earnest. The elders provided them with guidance and protection, weaving enchantments into their armor and blades, each spell a blessing against the darkness they would face. As the moon rose high above the Elder Glen, the companions gathered at the edge of the forest, where the fabric of reality grew thin. Here, the air shimmered like the surface of a newly awoken lake, a portal to the Veil, waiting just beyond sight. Elara, with the relic cradled in one hand and the star shard in the other, felt the magic within her surge to life. The world around her shifted, the trees and stars blurring into a kaleidoscope of colors and light as the Veil welcomed them into its embrace. The transition was both seamless and jarring, a bridge between worlds that left them standing upon a landscape both familiar and alien. The Veil was a place of ever-changing twilight, where the sky swirled with hues of emerald and violet, and the ground beneath their feet was a mosaic of dream and memory. Echoes of the past lingered in the air, half-formed whispers that carried tales of forgotten days. Here, the dark essence of the Shade Lord was palpable, an oppressive presence woven into the very fabric of the Veil. As they ventured deeper, the companions were tested in ways they could not have anticipated. The Veil played upon their senses, twisting reality to reflect their innermost fears and desires. Visions danced before them, calling forth both hope and despair. Kaelen, ever adept at navigating shadows, found himself face to face with the specters of his past, choices made and paths not taken, each one a haunting reflection. Lysandra's heart thundered with memories of battles yet fought, her people's cries echoing in her ears. Yet among these trials, it was Elara who felt the Veil most acutely, as Ingot recognized her as both an intruder and an ally. The wind sang a mournful song of old wounds, of love lost and bonds broken. Yet through it all, it guided her true. In the heart of the Veil, among a grove of ancient trees whose branches stretched into eternity, they confronted the essence of the Shadelord, a swirling vortex of shadow and malice, its form ever-shifting. The battle was unlike any they had faced, a crucible of will and spirit as much as of sword and sorcery. Elandor called upon the fire within, weaving it into a shield against the encroaching dark. Rogan and Lysandra stood together, an unbreakable wall against the storm. In this place of dreams and echoes, it was Elara who stood at the center, her connection to the relic guiding her hand. The star shard blazed with light, illuminating the darkness that threatened to swallow them whole. With each heartbeat, Elara felt the truth unfurl within her, a vision of balance, of harmony restored. In a moment of clarity, she understood that the Shadelord was not a force to be destroyed, but to be understood and integrated, for it was born of the same fabric as the relic, a reflection of creation itself. Summoning all her strength, she reached out, her voice rising above the tumult. Let there be light. The relic and star shard resonated in perfect harmony, their combined power a beacon that cleaved through the shadows. The darkness swirled and writhed, its roar one of both defiance and acceptance as it was drawn into the light, the veil itself shifting and adapting to accommodate its return to balance. As the echoes faded, the companions found themselves once more upon the threshold of the Elder Glen, the veil's magic having returned them to the realm they called home. The world was bright with promise, the dawn breaking upon a new chapter. But as they stood, triumphant yet humbled by their journey, they knew that many challenges yet lay ahead. The veil and all its mysteries had shown them both the darkness within and the light that could conquer it, and in that duality they found the strength to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. The return from the veil had left the companions with a newfound understanding of both themselves and the intricate dance between light and shadow that governed all things. The Elder Glen, vibrant and alive, welcomed them back with a serenity they had come to cherish. Yet despite the tranquility, there lingered an undercurrent of urgency, a silent drumbeat that hastened their steps as they returned once more to the Council of the Elders. Elder Amara and Elder Theron awaited them in the great hall of Aerenthor, their expressions grave yet hopeful. The tapestry of stars overhead cast a gentle glow upon the gathering, as if the heavens themselves were bearing witness to the moment. The Shadelord's essence has been drawn into balance, Elara reported, her voice carrying a quiet strength. But the forces that sought to unleash it remain at large. We must find them before they strike again. Elder Theron nodded, his eyes filled with contemplative wisdom. Indeed, there are forces at play that seek to upset the balance we have restored. It is imperative we understand their motives and their masters. A newcomer stepped forward from the shadows of the hall, a tall figure clad in the deep blue robes of a seer. His eyes were a striking silver, filled with the light of both moon and sun, and his presence brought with it an aura of untapped potential. I am Isolde, he introduced himself, his voice a gentle cascade of water over stones. The veil revealed to me that my path and yours are intertwined. Isolde spoke with a knowledge that came from visions granted in the twilight, between waking and dreaming. His arrival was both unexpected and fortuitous, for he bore news of a new threat, a storm gathering in the realm of Ashendrael, where the remnants of the Crimson Dominion had sought refuge. In Ashendrael a dark magic stirs, Isolde continued, his expression solemn. The crimson sorcerers gather under the banner of a new leader, one whose name is Azal, an enigma shrouded in obscurity, yet with power enough to challenge the very order we strive to maintain. Elara's heart leapt at the prospect of facing this new adversary. Beneath the urgency of their mission, she felt a sense of destiny driving her forward. "Then we must go to Ashendrel," she declared, the resolve in her voice mirrored by her companions. The journey to Ashendrel took them beyond the verdant embrace of the Elder Glen, across the sprawling plains of Aeloria, where the grass whispered secrets to the western wind. As they traveled, Isolde shared his visions, glimpses of a lone tower rising from a sea of mist, where crimson banners thrummed with the pulse of dark magic. The road was long and fraught with peril. At every turn, they encountered obstacles, from treacherous ravines to marauding beasts driven mad by the remnants of the Shadelord's influence. Yet the bond forged between them was as strong as the steel they carried, and together they pressed ever onward. Their path led them to the jagged peaks of the Ashendrel Mountains, where the air was thin, and the sky a turbulent tapestry of shifting clouds. Nestled among the highest spires, obscured by ceaseless storms, they found the Tower of Azal, an imposing structure carved from obsidian, its dark facade a stark contrast against the swirling mists. The tower was a fortress of shadow and steel, guarded by creatures born of nightmare and magic. As they approached, the companions steeled themselves for the confrontation they knew awaited them. Elandor's flames danced with renewed vigor, while Rogan and Lysandra readied their weapons with unwavering determination. Isolde's presence was a beacon of calm amidst the storm, his visions guiding them from one moment to the next. The heart of the tower was a labyrinth of twisting corridors and hidden chambers, each step echoing with the promise of danger. As they delved deeper, they encountered lesser sorcerers of the Dominion, their spells fizzling against the combined might of the companions' resolve. In the tower's apex, they found Azal, a figure cloaked in shadows, wielding a staff of darkened crystal. His eyes were pools of night, reflecting the ambition and malice that burned within. The air thrummed with power as Azal faced them, his voice a low growl that reverberated through the chamber. "Did you think you could confront me so easily?" Azal taunted, a cruel smile playing across his lips. "The Shadelord's essence was but a fragment of the power I command." Elara stepped forward, the relic and star shard both pulsating with light in her hands. "We seek balance, Azal. Whatever darkness you serve cannot be allowed to spread." The battle that ensued was a tempest of fury and magic, a clash of wills that threatened to rend the very fabric of reality. Azal's spells lashed out with precision, shadows clawing at the companions with relentless ferocity. Yet for every strike there was a counterpoint. Elandor's flames burned brighter, a phoenix reborn in the heart of the storm. Rogan and Lysandra fought as one, their strikes a symphony of steel and might. Selene and Kaelen moved like shadows, weaving in and out of the fray with deadly elegance. In the eye of the storm, Elara faced Azal, her spirit unyielding. With each clash, she felt the relic's power resonating with her own, a symphony of light and shadow that answered the call of her resolve. In a moment of clarity, she realized the truth of Azal's magic, a power fueled not by darkness, but by fear and desperation, the echoes of a soul lost to its own ambition. She saw the path to victory not in destruction, but in understanding. With a final, resolute strike, Elara unleashed the relic's light, not as a weapon, but as a beacon of hope. The chamber filled with its radiant glow, casting away the shadows that clung to Azal's form. The sorcerer faltered, his defenses crumbling in the face of the light's embrace. In a voice barely a whisper, he spoke. "What have you done?" "I have shown you truth," Elara replied, her tone both gentle and firm. "You need not be defined by your darkness." As Azal's power waned, the storm that raged around the tower began to dissipate, the mists parting to reveal a sky renewed in its clarity. In that moment, the companions understood that victory was not only in the battles they fought, but in the choices they made. With Azal defeated and the threat of the Dominion quelled, the companions emerged from the tower to find the world transformed. The horizon stretched out before them, a canvas of endless possibilities, and they knew their journey was far from over. Yet as they stood together, hearts united in purpose, they faced the future with the unwavering belief that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Champions of balance, beacons of hope, and guardians of a realm reborn. End. The tale of the companions' triumph over Azal spread like wildfire, a beacon of hope that ignited the hearts of Aeloria's people. Yet even as the realm breathed a sigh of relief, Elara Windrider knew the path of destiny stretched further still, its course marked by echoes of a deeper truth yet to be uncovered. In the days that followed their return from Ashendral, a summons arrived from the enigmatic Council of Weavers, a mysterious assembly said to hold the very threads of fate in their hands. These mystics, hidden within the Whispering Grove, called upon Elara and her companions to aid in a matter of grave importance, a confluence of power that threatened to unravel the delicate balance they had fought so hard to maintain. The journey to the Whispering Grove was a passage into legend itself, for it was a place seldom reached by mortal feet, shrouded in the mists of time, and guarded by the ethereal spirits of the forest. As they traveled, Elara felt a peculiar sense of familiarity, as if the path beneath her feet resonated with the songs of her ancestors. The companions moved with purpose and anticipation, the forest around them alive with magic. The air was fragrant with the scent of ancient pines and the sweet perfume of wildflowers, their colors vivid against the emerald backdrop. Above, the canopy swayed with a rhythm all its own, a living tapestry that whispered secrets to those willing to listen. It was Kaelen who first noted the presence of the forest spirits, wisps of light that flitted through the trees like fireflies, their laughter a melody on the breeze. These guardians, though elusive, recognized the companions as allies, guiding them ever deeper into the heart of the grove. At last, they arrived at the great circle of standing stones, cloaked in shadows and moonlight. Here the Council of Weavers awaited, their forms indistinct, yet radiating an aura of ancient power. Each weaver was veiled, their features hidden beneath flowing robes adorned with symbols of fate and prophecy. "Welcome, bearers of light," intoned the lead weaver, their voice echoing with the cadence of 100 generations. "The loom of fate guides us to this moment." Elara stepped forward, her spirit resonating with the energy of the grove. "You summoned us, wise weavers. What would you have of us?" "The veil has revealed a disturbance," the weaver continued, their gaze piercing through the mists of time. "A rift in the fabric that binds our world, heralded by a prophecy of the Starborn, a celestial being of immense power, long thought lost to the ages." The name was new, yet it resonated deeply within each companion, a call to action woven into their very souls. The Starborn, a being of legend, was said to hold the power to reshape reality itself, a promise of salvation or ruin, depending on whose hands guided its fate. "Where do we find this starborn?" Lysandra asked, her warrior's heart ever ready for the challenge ahead. "The starborn lies imprisoned within the shimmering spire," the weaver revealed, their ethereal voice tinged with urgency. "A place where light dances and shadows play, a fortress of mirrors that distorts what is and what might be." Armed with this knowledge, the companions prepared to undertake the journey to the shimmering spire, their resolve unwavering in the face of the unknown. Guided by the forest spirits, they navigated the labyrinthine paths of the Whispering Grove until they emerged once more into the open realm, their destination set. The road to the spire was fraught with challenges and riddles, the very landscape conspiring to confound the unwary. As they traversed the shifting sands of the glass desert, the air shimmered with heat and illusions, each mirage a test of perseverance and will. Yet even here, where the sun blazed with relentless fury, Elara and her companions found solace in their unity, their bond a shield against the trials set before them. At long last, the shimmering spire loomed before them, its towering facade a kaleidoscope of crystal and reflection. The structure was a marvel of impossible architecture, a place where reality and illusion intertwined, each surface a mirror that reflected truths hidden beneath layers of perception. As they approached the entrance, an eerie silence descended, broken only by the soft rustle of the wind against the mirrored walls. Within the spire, they were greeted by a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each one a distorted echo of the last. In this place of shifting reality, the companions faced trials not of steel and sorcery, but of heart and mind. Reflections of their innermost fears and desires flickered in the mirrored walls, demanding introspection and understanding. Elara saw glimpses of a path not taken, choices that haunted her even now, a reminder of the price of destiny. It was Isolde who guided them through the maze, his visions a map of possibilities that led them ever onward. In the heart of the spire, they found the starborn, a being of purest light, suspended within a prison of mirrors and shadows. The starborn's form shifted like starlight upon water, its presence both awe-inspiring and humbling. Yet even in its confinement, there was a serene power, a promise of hope that resonated with the relic's light. "It is time," Elara whispered, her voice a gentle caress against the cacophony of silence. Summoning the strength of the relic and the star shard, she reached out, her spirit melding with the starborn's essence in a union of light. The effect was immediate and profound, a symphony of creation unfurling as the spire's mirrors shattered, each fragment dissolving into a cascade of shimmering stardust. The starborn was free, its light illuminating the farthest reaches of the spire, dispelling shadows and unveiling truths long hidden. As the light subsided, the starborn's voice filled the chamber, a melody of 1,000 stars singing in harmony. "You have freed me from my shackles," it intoned, its gratitude a balm to their weary souls. "In doing so, you have restored balance once more." With the starborn at their side, the companions returned to the Whispering Grove, where the Council of Weavers awaited. Their approval, a silent testament to the victory achieved. The journey had forged them anew, their purpose clearer than ever before. Yet even amidst their triumph, Elara sensed the echoes of a future yet unwritten, a tapestry of fate still unfolding. The starborn was but one thread in a larger design, and she knew their story was far from over. As they left the grove, the companions walked side by side, their hearts aglow with the promise of the dawn. For though the path ahead was shrouded in shadow and light, they faced it with the courage of those who had glimpsed the stars and danced among their dreams. The dawn, after their return from the Whispering Grove, was tinged with the soft hues of promise, the horizon stretching before the companions like an artist's canvas, waiting to be filled with the colors of their next adventure. The liberation of the Starborn had rejuvenated the realm, infusing it with a vibrant energy that shimmered beneath the surface of the waking world. Yet even as Aeloria began to heal, whispers of a new danger reached their ears, a tempest rising in the distant land of Itheldor. Itheldor, a land known for its boundless skies and tempestuous seas, was a place where the elements danced in eternal harmony. The people there, the storm singers, were revered for their ability to commune with the storm, weaving its power into song and story. It was said that when the skies darkened above Itheldor, it was not merely a storm, but a harbinger of change, a call to arms that echoed across the realm. Elara and her companions, now joined by the Starborn, felt the pull of destiny once more. The Starborn, whose light was both guide and guardian, spoke of a gathering storm unlike any Itheldor had seen, a tempest born of both sorcery and betrayal. The news had come from a lone storm singer who had braved the seas to deliver a dire warning, a message that the storm was being manipulated by forces unknown, threatening to unleash chaos upon the realm. With the blessing of the Council of Weavers, the companions set sail upon the Azure Wind, a swift vessel renowned for its prowess upon the high seas. The ship cut through the waves like a needle through silk, its sails billowing with the promise of adventure. As they journeyed towards Itheldor, the horizon unfolded before them, painted in shades of azure and gold. The sea was alive with stories, tales of leviathans and lost cities whispered in the crashing of the waves. Elara stood at the helm, her eyes fixed upon the distant storm, her senses attuned to the rhythms of the ocean. Rogan and Lysandra tended the sails, their camaraderie a steady anchor amidst the uncertainty. Kaelen, ever watchful, scanned the horizon for signs of danger, while Elandor, with flame in hand, wove protective wards into the very fabric of the ship. As they approached Itheldor, the air grew heavy with the charge of an impending storm. The sky was a swirling mass of dark clouds and distant thunder, and within it, Elara could feel the heartbeat of the storm, a pulse that resonated with her own. The port city of Stormwatch came into view, its towers standing defiant against the encroaching tempest. Here, the companions were greeted by Captain Fallon, a seasoned storm singer, whose eyes held the wisdom of countless storms. His people looked to him for guidance, their trust as unyielding as the cliffs that guarded their shores. "The storm is not of our making," Fallon explained, his voice a deep rumble that matched the distant thunder. "It is being drawn to Itheldor by a force that seeks to harness its power for their own ends." His words painted a picture of treachery, a plot to control the very elements that defined Itheldor's strength. The companions listened intently, their resolve solidifying like the calm at the eye of a storm. "Then we shall face this threat together," Elara declared, her spirit as fierce as the winds that whipped through Stormwatch. "Guide us, Captain Fallon, and we will see this through." Their alliance forged, the companions ventured into the heart of Itheldor, guided by the rhythm of its storms. The land was a tapestry of raw beauty, where jagged cliffs met the sea with a roar, and the forest swayed to the cadence of the wind. Here, the storm was both a guardian and a test, its power as untamed as the souls that called Elandor home. As they journeyed deeper into the storm's embrace, the companions encountered signs of the malevolent force at work. Areas where the storm's natural patterns had been disrupted, twisted by arcane energy. Elandor and Isolde worked in tandem, unraveling the threads of dark magic woven into the storm's core, each revelation bringing them closer to understanding their adversary. Their path led them to the storm spire, a towering pinnacle of rock that pierced the heavens, where the storm's fury was most intense. It was here that they found the nexus of the disturbance, a circle of rogue sorcerers, their chants entwining with the storm's song, seeking to bind its power to their will. The confrontation was a symphony of chaos and courage, a battle where the very elements became both foe and ally. Lightning arced across the sky, illuminating the combatants in stark relief. The companions fought with the strength of those who had faced the darkest of shadows and emerged victorious. Rogan's hammer struck with the force of a landslide, while Lysandra's axe was a whirlwind of steel. Kaelen moved like a shadow, his daggers finding their marks amidst the tempest. Elandor's flames danced in defiance of the storm's chill, while Isolde's visions guided them through the maelstrom. Amidst the chaos, the Starborn shone with a brilliance that rivaled the storm itself, its presence a beacon of hope and unity. And at the heart of the storm, Elara faced the leader of the rogue sorcerers, a figure cloaked in shadows whose ambition threatened to consume them all. "You cannot control the storm," Elara called out, her voice rising above the thunder. "It is a force of nature, but truth that cannot be denied." The sorcerer's laughter was a jagged shard of ice. "You know nothing of power, Windrider. I will reshape this world, bend it to my will." But Elara, with the Relic and the Starborn as her allies, understood that true power lay not in domination, but in harmony. With a final surge of will, she unleashed the light of the Relic, a wave of energy that resonated with the storm's own song. The storm responded, its fury subsiding into a gentle rain, washing away the darkness that had sought to bind it. The rogue sorcerers, their power broken, fled into the shadows, leaving the companions victorious beneath a sky reborn. As the storm faded into memory, the people of Elandor gathered to celebrate, their songs of gratitude carried on the wind. Captain Thalan offered his thanks, his eyes reflecting the storm's glory and the promise of a brighter future. With the storm quelled and the balance restored, Elara and her companions prepared to continue their journey, their hearts alight with the knowledge that the realm of Aeloria was stronger for their efforts. For in every storm, there was a lesson, a reminder of the unity and courage needed to weather the tempests of fate. Part as the companions bade farewell to the storm-kissed shores of Elandor, their hearts alight with the victory over the sorcerers who had sought to control the tempest. The path ahead beckoned with a new mystery, one whispered by the very currents of magic that wove through the tapestry of Aeloria. The Starborn, now an integral part of their fellowship, had sensed a disturbance, a secret hidden within the heart of the Gilded Labyrinth, a place of legend and lore. The labyrinth, a sprawling edifice of ancient stone and gilded inlay, was said to hold the deepest secrets of the old world, a repository of knowledge guarded by time itself. Its passages, twisted like the coils of a serpent, promising revelations to those who dared venture its depths. Yet it was also a place of trials, where the mind could lose itself in riddles and illusions, where truths were concealed beneath layers of deceit. guided by the Starborn's light. Elara and her companions set forth towards this enigmatic place, their journey taking them across the sun-drenched plains and through valleys that echoed with the songs of bygone ages. The road was long, but their resolve was unwavering, a testament to their shared purpose and the bond that had been forged in the crucible of their adventures. As they neared the labyrinth, the landscape grew increasingly surreal, as if reality itself was bending in anticipation of what awaited within. The entrance, a grand archway carved with symbols that pulsed with a faint luminescence, loomed before them, a portal into the unknown. The air was thick with anticipation as they crossed the threshold, stepping into the cool embrace of the labyrinth's embrace. The corridors that wound before them were lined with precious metals and gemstones, glinting like stars in the twilight. Each turn revealed new wonders and challenges, the very architecture of the place shifting like a living thing. It was not long before they encountered their first trial, a chamber filled with mirrors, each reflecting a different version of reality. As they entered, the reflections began to move on their own, mimicking fears and hopes, taunting with visions of what could be. Here, the strength of their friendship shone brightest. Elandor, with his wisdom and understanding of the arcane, recognized the key: acceptance of oneself, both the darkness and the light. With his guidance, the companions faced their reflections, each overcoming the illusions that sought to bind them. Kaelen, whose past was a tapestry of shadows and secrets, found peace in the acceptance of his choices. Lysandra saw in the mirrors the future of her people, the strength of their spirit mirrored in her own. Rogan's steadfast heart, ever a beacon of loyalty, was a constant in the shifting realities. With the trial behind them, they delved deeper into the labyrinth, each chamber revealing new complexities. Riddles adorned the walls, ancient scripts woven into the very stone. They spoke of forgotten histories and prophecies yet to unfold, a language of fate and time that echoed in the minds of those who dared listen. It was in one such chamber that they encountered a guardian, a being of both metal and magic, its eyes aglow with sentience and purpose. The guardian, named Zephyrus, was both protector and guide. Its voice, a harmonious blend of music and reason. "You who seek the heart of the labyrinth," Zephyrus intoned, its presence both imposing and welcoming. "What truth do you desire to uncover?" Elara, her spirit resonating with the purpose of their journey, stepped forward. "We seek the knowledge hidden within, the means to strengthen the light of our realm against the encroaching darkness." The guardian regarded them with a gaze that seemed to pierce the very soul. "To grasp the truth, you must first understand the question." The labyrinth is not merely a place of confinement, but a mirror of the world, a reflection of what was and what might yet be. The words hung in the air like a symphony of possibilities, the truth of the labyrinth unfurling in the minds of the companions. As they pondered this revelation, the walls of the chamber shifted, revealing a hidden passage illuminated by a warm golden light. Driven by curiosity and determination, they followed the path laid before them, each step echoing with the weight of destiny. The passage wound its way into the depths of the labyrinth, leading them to a vast chamber where the air thrummed with ancient power. In the heart of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested an artifact of unparalleled beauty and mystery, a compass of intricate design, its needle spinning in a dance of its own. The Compass of Avum, it was called, a relic said to guide those who held it to the answers they sought. A beacon in the labyrinth of time. As Elara reached for the compass, a surge of energy coursed through her, a cascade of images and sensations, a vision of paths converging, of shadows dispersing before a dawn unimagined. The compass did not offer direction but clarity, a means to navigate the currents of fate that wove through their lives. With the compass in hand, the companions felt the labyrinth's embrace loosen, the riddles and trials fading into the ether. Zephyrus watched them with a knowing smile, its role as guide fulfilled. You have found what you sought. Yet remember, knowledge is but a tool. It is the choices you make that shape the world. As they emerged from the labyrinth, the sun bathed the land in a golden glow, the light of a new beginning. The knowledge they carried was a beacon, a promise of hope and unity in the face of the challenges that lay ahead. With renewed purpose, Elara and her companions set their sights on the horizon, the road before them a tapestry of possibility. For in the dance of stars and shadows, they had glimpsed the true nature of their quest, a journey not merely to save a realm, but to understand the very essence of what it meant to be a part of it. Upon their return from the gilded labyrinth, the air vibrated with a subtle harmony, a melody woven from the strands of fate and possibility that had been revealed to the companions. With the compass of Avum guiding them, Elara and her allies felt an urgent pull towards the celestial observatory of Starhaven, a place where the heavens and earth met, and the dance of stars painted the tapestry of destiny. Starhaven, perched atop the highest peak in all of Aeloria, was a marvel of celestial architecture, a city of spires and domes that reached towards the firmament like the fingers of a titan. Here the astronomers and starseers of the realm gathered to study the cosmos, their wisdom a guiding light in the ever-turning wheel of time. As they approached the ancient city, the companions were greeted by the clear, crystalline air of the mountain heights, the sky a vast canvas of azure and gold. The path to Starhaven was a winding ascent, carved from the living rock, bordered by crystalline formations that glittered like diamonds beneath the sun's benevolent gaze. Their arrival was met by Alien, the master starseer of Starhaven, whose eyes were as bright and piercing as the stars themselves. Cloaked in robes that shimmered like the night sky, Alien welcomed them with a warmth that belied the mountain's chill. "We have awaited your coming," Alien intoned, his voice a gentle resonance that echoed through the corridors of Starhaven. "The stars have spoken of your journey, and the role you shall play in the grand symphony of creation." Elara, with the compass of Avum clasped in her hand, stepped forward. "We seek to understand the patterns woven into the stars, to uncover the path that will lead us to a future of light and unity." Alien nodded, his expression thoughtful. "The stars hold many secrets, yet they also reveal truths to those who listen. Come, let us ascend to the celestial chamber, where we may witness the dance of the universe." Together they climbed to the pinnacle of Starhaven, where the celestial chamber awaited, a vast observatory crowned by a dome of crystal through which the heavens could be seen in their full, resplendent glory. The chamber was alive with the hum of ancient machinery, the astrolabes and orreries spinning in concert with the celestial bodies above. As the companions gazed upon the stars, Alien activated the grand orrery that dominated the chamber, its intricate gears and spheres set into motion. The heavens above mirrored the orrery's movements, the stars tracing luminous paths across the dome, each constellation a note in the symphony of existence. "Here," Alien began, his voice a guide amidst the cosmic wonders. "The stars align to form the Song of Ages, a melody that speaks of times long past and futures yet to unfold. The compass of Avum attunes to this celestial music, revealing paths hidden to mortal eyes. Elara felt the compass resonate with the star's music, its needle spinning before settling with clarity upon a point in the heavens, a constellation known as the Harbinger, whose appearance heralded change and transformation. The Harbinger, Elandor murmured, his gaze alight with recognition. A sign of both challenge and opportunity, its presence signifies the rise of forces that could reshape our world. This revelation carried the weight of destiny, and Elara's heart swelled with both anticipation and trepidation. Yet beneath the challenge lay a promise, a chance to bring about a new era, one forged from the dreams and hopes of those who dared to reach for the stars. Guided by the compass and the wisdom of the starseers, the companions delved deeper into the mysteries of the Song of Ages, seeking answers to the questions that had brought them to Starhaven. Each constellation sang of a different facet of existence, a verse in the grander symphony, a tapestry woven from the threads of time and fate. As night descended upon the observatory, the stars blazed with a brilliance that transcended time. In their light, the companions glimpsed visions of a future where balance and harmony reigned, where the forces of light and shadow danced in eternal equilibrium. Yet amidst the beauty, a shadow loomed, a vision of a force born from the void, a whisper of darkness that threatened to unravel the symphony itself. Elara and her companions understood then that their journey was far from over, for the Harbinger's song was both a warning and a call to action. With the dawn came a renewed sense of purpose, and the companions prepared to leave Starhaven, their hearts set upon the path laid before them. As they descended the mountain, Alien offered a final blessing, his words a guiding light upon their journey. May the stars illuminate your path, and may the harmony of the universe guide your steps. With these words echoing in their hearts, Elara and her companions continued their quest, the compass of Avum a beacon in the unfolding night. They moved forward with the knowledge that the symphony of stars would guide them, revealing the truths hidden within the patterns of the cosmos. For in the dance of the celestial realm, they had found not only the answers they sought, but the courage to face whatever lay ahead, the hope and unity that would see them through the trials to come. Heart. The descent from Starhaven was both a literal and metaphorical return to the world below, where the whispers of destiny awaited their unraveling. The starry symphony they had witnessed lingered in their minds, a haunting melody that guided their steps as they journeyed into the heart of Aeloria, where the sanctuary of echoes lay hidden, a place steeped in both legend and mystery. The sanctuary, nestled within the tranquil embrace of the verdant vale, was said to be a place where the voices of the past spoke freely, where the echoes of history could be heard by those willing to listen. It was here, among the ancient stones and hallowed groves, that the stories of Aeloria's inception thrived, preserved in the very breath of the earth itself. As the companions traveled towards the vale, the landscape around them shifted from the stark majesty of Starhaven to the lush serenity of fertile lands. The air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the gentle murmur of a distant brook lent a soothing cadence to their journey. With each step, Elara felt the pull of the sanctuary, a subtle yet insistent tug at the edges of her consciousness, as if the very earth called out in anticipation of their arrival. The compass of Avum, nestled within her grasp, guided them with unerring precision, its needle aligning with the unseen currents of time and space. When at last they entered the Vale, the companions found themselves surrounded by an oasis of tranquility, a place where time flowed differently, where the world's noise faded into a serene silence. Here, the towering trees whispered of ancient wisdom, and the stones themselves seemed to hum with stories long untold. In the heart of the Vale lay the sanctuary, a circle of standing stones, their surfaces etched with runes that glowed with a gentle luminescence. The air within the circle was charged with an ethereal energy, a resonance that thrummed with the pulse of ages past. As they stepped into the circle, the air shimmered, and the echoes of history unfurled around them like the pages of a forgotten tome. A tapestry of visions enveloped them, glimpses of heroes and battles, of moments that had shaped the world, and the choices that had forged its path. It was Isolde who first felt the presence of the echoes, his connection to the temporal currents allowing him to decipher their whispers. The sanctuary holds the memory of Aeloria, he murmured, his eyes alight with awe. Here, the past speaks to the present. The companions listened in rapt silence as the echoes unfolded, revealing the story of an ancient alliance, of starseers and earthkeepers who had shaped the world's destiny in ages long past. It was a tale of unity and sacrifice, of a bond forged in the fires of creation and memory. Yet amidst the echoes, a new voice emerged, a presence both familiar and mysterious, a thread that wove through the tapestry of time with a song all its own. It was the voice of the Harbinger, reaching out from the depths of the cosmos, its message a lament both poignant and powerful. We are the echoes of the first breath, the symphony that binds the stars and the earth. The voice intoned, its tone a gentle caress that resonated with the very bones of the earth. In our song lies the balance, the harmony that sustains the world. The companions felt the weight of the message settle upon them, a call to preserve the equilibrium, to ensure that the dance of light and shadow continued unbroken. It was a task both monumental and vital, a journey that transcended the boundaries of time and space. With the echoes as their guide, Elara and her companions understood that the path ahead would require both courage and compassion, a willingness to embrace the unknown, and to listen to the quiet truths whispered by the world itself. As the echoes faded into the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant call of a lark, the companions emerged from the sanctuary with a renewed clarity and purpose. The Vale, with its timeless beauty and serene presence, had bestowed upon them the wisdom of ages, a reminder that the past and present were but threads in the infinite tapestry of existence. With hearts full of resolve and the harmony of the echoes guiding their steps, the companions set forth once more, the world before them a canvas of limitless possibility. For in the sanctuary of echoes, they had found not only the voices of the past, but the strength to shape the future, a future where the symphony of the stars and the earth would play on, forever in balance.